Now at 5, thousands gather in downtown Portland demanding change within the Trump administration.
They stand for what's their best interest.
Plus, relief from local drivers as a man who filmed and published his crimes on Portland roads is brought into custody. And later on, the latest on the back and forth between Washington state lawmakers over the state's budget.
We need to make sure we're being as efficient and lean as possible.
This was the scene earlier today in downtown Portland as protesters gathered in opposition to the Trump administration, expressing their frustration with the president's policies. Thanks so much for joining us here at 5. I'm John Adams. The Trump administration says it remains focused on cutting government spending, securing the border, and boosting American manufacturing. Our Ashley Graham shares what protesters had to say in response.
Protesters here telling me they are not happy with the Trump administration, taking issue with everything from DOGE to tariffs and deportations.
Hey, ho, ho. Donald Trump has got to go.
If I could have 10 signs, I would, but I don't have enough arms.
Protesters started in Pioneer Square before marching through downtown Portland Saturday afternoon.
A few thousand.
Jack O'Connor stumbled on the demonstration.
There are a lot of different messages here.
The list goes on.
Natalie says she's protesting for many reasons. For one, she's against the Trump administration's tariffs and concerned about rising prices.
Try to buy a car in a month, good luck. You're going to pay thousands and thousands of more dollars for everything.
Most of those reciprocal tariffs are on pause. The Trump administration says their goal is to bring manufacturing back to the U.S. and are focused on the long term.
This is what democracy looks like.
As the march snaked through the Rose City, Portland police closed the roads. TriMet riders also faced some delays. Some in the crowd carried signs taking aim at the administration's immigration policy.
I made this sign specifically. We need to bring him home. We need to give him due process.
Patrick Blewett is talking about Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a migrant recently deported to El Salvador.
He was in the U.S. legally, no matter what the Trump administration says.
This man is according to certified statements that we get, is a very violent person.
The protest ended around 2 in the afternoon. Portland Police Chief Bob Day posted on social media calling this a peaceful event and thanking everyone for prioritizing safety. In Portland, Ashley Graham's KGW News.
Well, you just heard there from President Trump and a local protester about Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Another federal lawmaker, this one from Oregon, will travel to El Salvador to demand his release. Representative Maxine Dexter says she is making this push because Abrego Garcia is being held in a foreign prison despite the Trump administration's own acknowledgement he was wrongfully deported and the U.S. Supreme Court's ruling that the federal government must facilitate his return. In a statement, she said this is a constitutional crisis that should outrage every single one of us, and she's traveling to confront this crisis head on. Now, this is the second such protest of this scale, and we've also covered demonstrations outside of local Tesla dealerships. To see our previous reporting, visit our website, kgw.com, or download our free KGW News app. Well, turning now to weather, another beautiful afternoon in Portland to kick off the weekend. Hard to find a cloud in the sky in the Portland metro for most of the day today. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri is joining us now. And Joe, are things going to be staying nice heading into the evening hours tonight?
Absolutely right. Yeah, they are until tomorrow morning when everybody hopes this beautiful weather carries over into Easter Sunday. But unfortunately, that won't be the case. Downtown Portland, the bricks are bone dry from our Pioneer Park building camera. We're looking at a temperature of 63 degrees. Now, we're not going to be seeing heavy amount of rain heading into your Easter Sunday, but I would plan accordingly. Maybe have some of those brunch plans a little earlier. I know brunch is, kind of in the middle between breakfast and lunch, but maybe a 10:30, 11 o'clock window just to be safe. But then those Easter egg hunts will mainly be dry heading into the central and southern part of the Willamette Valley. Here in the metro area tomorrow, we're going to be waking up to mostly cloudy skies, dry at 7 o'clock. But unless you want to have people over earlier, you're more than welcome to do that. You will be seeing those showers by midday or so, and then by 5 o'clock, we're looking at temperatures right around the mid to the upper 50s. So much cooler out there from what we have been seeing. Of course, so far we've seen 8 days, I believe it is, with temperatures 70 or above. Yeah, we didn't get close to that earlier today. We topped out right around the mid 60s. Right now, we're at 63 degrees up and down the I-5 corridor. And coming up in the detailed forecast, I'll break down the window where you can have those Easter egg hunts and when you can plan those brunches that I'm sure a lot of people are trying to figure out.
All right, Joe, we look forward to that. Thank you. Well, new here at 5, Umpqua Community College has announced that the head coach of its softball team and one of its players were killed in a crash that is believed to have been caused by an impaired driver. Oregon State Patrol said it happened just before 10 last night on Highway 42 in Coos County, just south of Myrtle Point. Investigators say an SUV crossed the center line and hit a bus carrying 10 members of the softball team. 19-year-old Kylie Jones was pronounced dead on scene. Head coach Jamie Strins was taken to the hospital and died of her injuries. The other 8 in the bus suffered serious to moderate injuries. Governor Tina Kotek released a statement on social media saying in part, "Oregon is here for you in your grief and loss." One person is fighting for their life in the hospital following a crash earlier today in Vancouver. It happened near Northeast 162nd and Northeast 7th Street. Vancouver police say 2 people were taken to the hospital, one with life-threatening injuries. And in less than 1 week, Multnomah County first responders have pulled 3 bodies from the Willamette River. The sheriff's office says the latest was found yesterday near the Port of Portland's Terminal 4 near the St. John's Bridge. Tuesday, the body of 24-year-old Rachel Mobley was found near Sauvie Island's Wapato Bridge. And last Sunday, deputies recovered the body of 32-year-old Daniel Alcazar near Swan Island. The sheriff's office said they have no reason to believe these cases are connected. Portland police will be out in full force this weekend looking for street racers. PPB says they received a tip about 2 planned street takeover events and are expected to draw people from around the region. Police warn under Oregon law, cars used in illegal street racing may be forfeited and drivers can face hefty fines and jail time. PPB also warns those attendees that even if you don't see officers, it doesn't mean they're not there. Sergeant Kevin Allen says they've used airplanes and drones in the past to monitor these events and gather information that could lead to future arrests.
Historically, they've been all over the city. North Portland for sure, Marine Drive, big wide open roads, straight stretches of roads. We've seen that lots of times. But we've seen them in tight quarters here in downtown.
PPB says since the law went into effect, 4 vehicles have been forfeited, 3 have been returned to lien holders, and 5 remain in forfeiture processes. Well, this comes after a local driver made infamous through his social media posts was arrested yesterday. He would post videos of himself driving on the shoulders of highways, hanging out of his window, and off-roading through parks. We learned it was actually the driver himself who called police to report someone else who had sideswiped him. Our Catherine Cook spoke with witnesses who saw the whole thing unfold.
The guy driving this truck is Oscar Burrell Jr. For weeks, police say he's been posting these videos of himself on social media, driving recklessly and pulling other dangerous stunts like driving through this park.
When I watched the videos, I was shocked that he didn't crash.
PPB's traffic division launched an investigation and arrested Burrell Friday morning after police say he called them.
He called 911 saying that he was the victim of a hit and run.
It happened near Southeast 37th and Hawthorne.
He stopped in the middle of the road, basically double parked.
Nick Brown owns Nick's famous Coney Island across the street. He says Burrell went into this resale store to drop off some clothes. The sign on Burrell's truck tells drivers to go around.
Another guy pulled up behind him, got angry about that. The guy behind him went and just grabbed his keys out of his truck and left.
As we're checking him in, he notices that somebody's going into his truck, so he runs out to kind of like fight him off.
Levi Lovato works at the resale store. He says Burrell is a regular here and watched as he tried to get his keys back from the guy.
He chases him down to his truck and starts beating on the window, and then goes back over to his truck and then kind of gets sideswiped as the other guy was leaving.
This security image shows the truck Lovato says swiped Burrell.
They are still investigating the hit and run that he's reporting, but because of the fact that we had probable cause to arrest him for his crimes, he was taken into custody.
Police towed Burrell's truck as evidence. He was booked on reckless driving, first-degree criminal mischief, and recklessly endangering another person. Despite all of that, Burrell's friend, Michael Stewart, says he's a good guy.
And he stands up for anyone who's focused or dealing with any type of trauma or trouble within his vicinity.
But police say their biggest concern is public safety.
When you're hanging out of a moving vehicle on the freeway, If you're in a crash, I mean, that's almost for sure going to be a fatality.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.